Hi! I joined another game jam. This is my second one, hosted by Cowboy. For this contest the time limit is 2 weeks. So when it started there was 3 themes. First one, it was called One Item. The second one, Zombie. And the third one was a sentence. Like, the more things change, the more things stay the same. Yeah, I admit it was a little confusing in the beginning, so I only chose one theme. It was the zombie one. I think about for like 4 hours straight and nothing came to my mind. Then I remember those whole simulation games. I was in love with those games. So I started making some sketches in my notebook about how the game would look like, and I opened Blender and started modeling the worlds only for the main menu, because the objective was, when selecting the map, the world would rotate itself so you could look how the map will look like before you press play. In the world 3D model, I even created 4 basic houses. Then I started my project in Unity engine. I loaded the 3D world model and created some basic materials with basic colors to give to the model. And I start coding the main menu, starting with the basic methods like start level to change the map, and created some sort of fast transition of the world rotation when selecting the map. Next, I've made the main menu UI or user interface and made the code so the buttons will work. But now I must have a proper animation to the main menu world when selecting the map. I wanted to rotate the world to the map selected. After a few tries I finally discovered the solution. And here's how it looks like. I think it gives a good visual for the main menu, but the design is not done yet. I finished the main menu code for now, which has a lot of useful variables and methods. Then I moved into the gameplay and I start coding. I start doing the models of the different worlds I have, so after you select the map in the main menu and you press play, it will basically load the side of the world. It's working and looks really cool. I'll try my best. I start coding the path system that the zombies will follow to go into the house. And I really found it funny how in hell I will do this. Lucky I don't have lots of maps, so I would prefer other options, but this one was fine, and I choose the easier one. So I continued coding the gameplay system, also making a basic gameplay UI, some methods to spawn the enemy and control the system. And I made some basic images with this software Gimp. Images that I will use for the main menu user interface to give a good visual. This was basically the end of day 1. Also with university, sports and all, it gets really hard to work in this game. But I want to give a try and that's the end of day 1 basically. So I created some sort of a music with SoundTrap for the main menu. After a few tries, I was improving this beautiful piece of music. Okay, I think. And I was trying to code the AI system. The enemy would follow the path, and yeah, can someone tell me what was going on there? I somehow messed up things a little, but in my opinion it's really a cool effect, but not what I want. Maybe if I wanted to make this effect I couldn't make it, and I did it by mistake. I always knew that the gravity law was not right. Why am I talking like this? So let's keep going. After figuring out what was going on, I fixed this bug, and it was a really stupid mistake. And I improved the AI, now they follow the path with some bugs of course, like if you came back to the main menu and load a different map, the level doesn't reset, and it needs to be resetted. Like the gameplay, it's based in a grid, and you use this grid to build towers, etc. So I start coding our grid like the old tycoon games, but way more simple. So I found some problems with the map size and its position with the grid, and I've corrected them. It took some time, but yeah, it's fine now. And now here we have our basic grid working. We can build little cubes. Cubes. I wonder when I have towers. It's brilliant. And I drew the gameplay UI, where you can select the remove tool or to place towers. But for now it's only cubes. And basically this is the end of day 2. And there were days that I didn't work in this game, but because of university. So I start coding the gameplay buttons, so when you press with the mouse one of the buttons, you can build a wooden or iron tower according to the button. It's working just fine. Sadly, the towers are just cubes for now. So after you build a tower, they will have a damage value and cooldown, even a range value. But for now, only a hit can destroy and remove an object enemy. Now we have a projectile that is shot by the tower and follows the enemy as the target, removing health from the enemy when hitting it. Now to build the towers it requires materials, and for each hit in the enemy you can earn, for example, 10 materials. To build a wooden tower it requires 100 materials. When in the building mode, if you press the button again you can deselect, or you just press right click in the mouse. So I start making some models, one of a normal zombie and other from a rare zombie, both with an armature to create animations. And it was just about time to make the wooden tower to replace the cubes. Now you can select the tower and looks pretty. Also, I wanted to spawn trees and bushes. At the beginning of the game, they were spawned inside the grid, and if that square of the grid was already taken by a tree or a bush, you can't build towers. You should press the button remove tool to remove the elements you need to be removed. Also, I wanted to make sure the trees couldn't spawn on the path where the zombies were walking on. And that's pretty much the end of day 5. The destroy tool is working now. You can destroy towers, trees or bushes. Also for destroying you need materials, and you don't earn any materials by destroying it. Because then you were destroying all the trees in the beginning of the game only to obtain materials. So you only should destroy the trees if you need space to build towers. Of course I could change the rules later. And the level difficulty will be increasing during the game. So the more time you can survive, the most difficulty gets. Or at least I hope so. I made some temporary data to store how many zombies you've killed during that match and other useful information that can be displayed when the game over user interface shows up in your screen. And that will happen a lot, trust me. Now if you click on a tower already placed on the grid, it shows another UI, which you can upgrade the tower range, the damage that will take to the enemy and the cooldown to shoot. And you can only upgrade the tower if you have enough materials. Also, it auto-detects when you don't have materials. The button becomes red when you don't have enough. Next, I drew some images for the buttons, like a sword for damage, a clock for cooldown and an eye for the range. Also the towers. And I drew some textures, really simple textures. And I find it nice to have these basic textures. Makes the game lovely, not too dark if you know what I mean. It makes less violent, I think. I don't know. So I start coding the game over. So when the enemies reach the end of the path, in other words, they reach the house, health points will be removed from the house, and when it gets to 0, you'll lose the game. The game sometimes can be so easy and sometimes so hard, so I try to balance a little the difficulty. The models of the zombies are in the game now. having his own animations of walking. Also, I corrected some bugs. I've loaded the houses into the map, and I've created some 3D models, fences, windows and doors. And after that, I made the level design, like some fences around the house, placed some windows and doors at the 4 different houses. So I finally created the Iron Tower model. Made the sound system since my game has no sounds yet, and I created wallpaper that will be at the cover of the game. And I end this project by making the intro or a logo for the game. So when you open the game, it will display some images which you can skip if you want. So the deadline ends tomorrow, so yeah. I think I did a pretty good job. I think it's cool. And in my first game jam, I think I didn't even sleep once. And it was all night coding and working, Jesus. Because it's insane how someone can create something in so little time. Like, there are actually people creating games in only one day. It's so fast, your reaction of coding and what's gonna be your idea and how are you gonna do it. And once I created my portfolio for a job, it's not only university scores and projects. These projects helps you with a future job. I finished my project and now I have some more things to do about university, and well, it was a great experience. And one tip I can give, you can join a sport that you really love and your stress level will go down, and lots of things. You can have ideas while you're practicing sports. And 3 years that I've been running, and now I can do half marathons in less than 2 hours. While I'm running, I have so many ideas for future projects, and also I can focus more on my studies. And it's not only that, you can meet new friends and it really helps your sanity. Of course, this is just a tip and it works for me so far, and it's really a thing that I'm into, sports. I hope you like it and see you next time!